is this?
This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah. Welcome again. This is Marin. I use she, her pronouns. I'm here to tell you about my self-healing program, psychic self-healing program, where we teach you intuitive training or intuitive tools to utilize to better navigate whatever the fuck this is right now, this world. I moved to Colorado over 7 years ago. I was a teacher. I was an art teacher for 10 years. And eventually, that last school that I was at, I got an immense amount of information and an opportunity to learn about race, power, and it changed my perception of myself as a teacher and if I even wanted to be in the classroom anymore. And once I started to consider maybe I don't want to be a classroom teacher anymore, I started to get really bad third eye headaches. And now I know that these third eye headaches were kind of me going against my intuitive knowingness, me going against what my body already knew was the answer. What I already knew deep inside was the answer. And one of the only things that could help me with this third eye headache was to receive Reiki. I, at the time, had already started pulling divinity cards. I think I had an app at this time, but now I have actual divinity cards. But anyway, there's tarot and divinity cards, and in this app that I was pulling cards, I'd keep getting this one that said, "Have you considered Tai Chi or Reiki?" And I was like, "What is this Reiki thing?" So I Googled it, and sure enough, there were some Reiki practitioners within 30 minutes of me. And so I was like, well, I literally keep pulling this card. I think I got it like 4 or 5 times. So this is information for me. This is for me to not miss. And I signed up to go get a session of Reiki. I had no idea what the fuck I was in for. But had a great experience, ultimately was not sure about it, but was open to it. And uh, it certainly was a moment in my life that changed my life, that I was open to this other modality of healing, this other way of seeing what I was experiencing physically and uh, being still and having a way to navigate what was happening inside, to navigate this deep question that I had of, am I really going to quit this thing that I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life? Am I really going to move away again? At that point, I had actually I lived in Norway at an international school for 4 years, and I had come back to Minnesota, where I'm from, and so I was back in Minnesota for 4-ish years, and yeah, there was just something in me knowing that, okay, that experience changed me. This experience of teacher and permission to understand more about systems and systems of oppression and just how I was showing up in the classroom. All of that started to unravel and reshape how I viewed myself, what I thought I wanted to do in the world. And ultimately, I was seeing folks really profoundly facilitating, and I was just enamored by how folks were supporting me in a world or in work that I had never experienced before. To facilitate DEI anti-racism trainings is an immense skill to hold, and I was really enamored of what that would be like. And so I left the classroom, moved to Colorado, and decided that I really wanted to find ways to influence adults in the ways that I was influenced. And so I came in hot in Colorado in terms of like a lot of activism, the big activism background, and some fiery passion to help specifically white folks in their anti-racism. Simultaneously, I'm meeting new people in the area that I moved to and learning more about Reiki and going to Reiki shares and um, and then eventually learning about these tools that I'm now a teacher of. I'm sharing and leading this class after however many years. So I've taken the first year of this intuitive training. We have a second grad year, and then there is a third and a fourth year where we go into more transmediumship. So there is a beautiful way that we have our program set up to really scaffold, to really support, and to really navigate. When you do this work, when you do energy healing, there are a lot of new ways that you're experiencing growth, new ways that you are transmuting past lives, patterns, beliefs, and it can be really a lot and uncomfortable. And so what I love about these classes, the psychic self-healing class, is also how it really builds community around you, that it really hones in on, we can't do this alone. Like, we can, but we get to a certain point where it's not enough, where I need to reach out to my teachers, I need to reach out to my classmates and have them support me in a way that I maybe never would have been able to ask for or realize I needed before this program. So Psychic Self-Healing Program, we start April 3rd. We meet weekly Wednesday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I know that that's like in the middle of people's work week, and also we've had folks across the world block out this time and come when they can. It will change your life. If you are spiritually curious, if you are interested in your psychic abilities, if you know things or you feel things, maybe you see colors in people's auras, or maybe you hear things. There's lots of different ways that the unseen can speak to us. And to me, that's part of what this class is permission that what you are sensing, what you are knowing, what you are feeling is really important information. And ultimately, it's most likely that you have been told to disregard that you've been told to dismiss it and to put it away. When this class, the Psychic Self-Healing class, really creates opportunities for you to practice and to get to know, how does energy show up for you? Are you more of a seer? Are you more a knower? Is there a combination? Some folks sometimes just see colors or hear messages. And so as you come to class each week, there's a theme that we cover, and there's a way that you are learning not only tools to heal yourself or to kind of hold and own your own energy, it is also ways for you to, again, transmute maybe some bigger patterns, some familial patterns, or some conditioning that you didn't really realize is there. And ultimately, that is what I'm excited about. I'm excited about continuing to create spaces for conscious change makers to know themselves better and to, in order to be better leaders in whatever context that you are in. I'm very interested in working with spiritual healers and folks who already are in the space of knowing or having some tools or being connected to the unseen in different ways, and then trying to intersect that with, what does it mean to be in a 3D human body in this experience of Earth, to know that you are a part of this greater consciousness, this greater awakening, and we can't just skip to the 5D of love and light and everything's fine, because the reality of our physical bodies cannot really, it's not cool to bypass, and it's not anything that I'm interested in participating in. I'm interested in how these energy tools can help and have helped me and can help you navigate the world differently. It's not that we completely turn off discomfort. It's not that we completely don't feel things. Actually, this is a way to really be able to ride the wave, that no matter what, we are going to experience heartache, grief. Maybe you are experiencing that right now as you are witnessing a genocide across your internet, on your social media. The world and the collective affect us energetically more than maybe some folks want to admit. And sometimes it's astrology and things are shifting, and sometimes it's just the greater world to navigate. So how do you do that? Are you someone who works out? Are you someone who journals? Are you someone who meditates? There's lots of different modalities to navigate the world around us. And to me, the excuse me, energy healing and energy tools are just another layer, are just another modality of this. And really, over the last 7 years that I have been in classes myself, that I have continued to integrate these tools more, I have been able to navigate some really hard times. Again, I'm not saying that I'm perfect and that, like, because I do these tools, my life is amazing. That's not what I'm saying. My life is amazing. My life I am learning to co-create. My life I'm better navigating because I continue to stay open to the different modalities and tools that exist. And again, I'm offering that this is one other layer, that maybe you are a spiritually curious person who is tired of feeling overwhelmed by whatever it is in your life. Are you a mom? Are you an auntie? Are you a grandparent? Are you a 9 to 5er in corporate? There's so many different moments of our lives and of our days that putting a grounding cord on, or sending and clearing and grounding energy for a meeting beforehand, or noticing, ooh, my belly has a lot of butterflies in it. I'm anticipating and have a lot of anxiety around this conversation. That you can preemptively work time and space with these energy tools. And again, not with the tools and then the community that we are able to foster and create, it's a game changer in terms of navigating that. Not only do I want to understand better systems, better understand the intersection of my life and my identities and what that means, of why I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing, and where are the spaces and places that maybe I can learn to get better about the power and privilege that I have, as well as continue to find ways to sustain myself. That to be in this world and to be a change maker of any kind requires us to find ways to stay in it, right? And there's a lot of talk about naps and rest and what we're up against in this late stage capitalist society, that there are lots of ways for us to get burnt out, overwhelmed, feel hopeless, feel misunderstood. There's just so many ways that the world around us is so loud. And the ways that we have been conditioned in our cultural spaces, in our upbringing, I'm from Minnesota, so I learned a certain level of passive aggressiveness that I'm trying to navigate as an adult, trying to be in relationships with others. But I've also, over time in this energy healing space and in classes, I've been able to blow some pictures, is what we call it, or to release and put away some past lives that maybe energetically are still in my space and affecting how I interact with each other, with others, or with how I view and believe of myself. There's so much of this energy work that has helped me, even around worthiness and what it is that I deserve to experience and what it is that I want to experience, that I have more control over that, or like get to co-create that in ways that I could never have imagined. And again, I and Stacia, my teacher, we love to live in that both and, in that intersection, that energetic work, spiritual work needs to be alongside our better understanding and knowledge building of systems, of what is actually happening here, who has power, who does not, who are the most marginalized in the space. How do I recognize and navigate what that means for me and who I am in certain spaces? To me, anti-racism and inclusive leadership, it has to be a combination of that I have to do my own personal work, that it starts with me before it is anything else. And same with the energy work. Energy work is so amazing because the more that I do my own healing within my space, within myself, I'm only helping and navigating and changing my lineage. literally healing my family through the work that I'm doing. And so we call that a mirror or a matching picture, that sometimes there are ways that, and when I'm with a client too, if I'm noticing with something within their space that I'm helping them move, oftentimes I will feel it in my physical space or in my physical body, and I will be utilizing my energy tools to move it out of my space to give permission for my client and this other or whomever is across from me to also do the same. That, okay, we're releasing fear in our third. Okay, I'm seeing that there's some um, unconsciousness or lack of clarity within your sixth chakra. Like there are ways that we can start to navigate. And sometimes it's important to name what people are moving, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not important at all. It's just that, okay, yep, you are moving fear. You are moving unworthiness. There's so many ways that energy healing and energy tools can help you navigate the noise of the world, to help you navigate the ebbs and flows that inevitably happen in this human experience. We are human beings with emotions, with beliefs and values, and part of those beliefs, some of that is for us to continue to question, like, why do I believe that? Where did that come from? And then continue to find the different ways of understanding. Sometimes it is to read more books and to build my knowledge about the truth of the world, the the reality that actually is here in terms of fascism and capitalism and genocide, that there are real tangible things that deserve my attention as a human being and as a global citizen of this world. And so some of it is to find action. So educate myself, to create community with others, to put myself in roles where maybe I can change policy or change laws or be a community organizer. There's some real action that needs to happen. And there are other modalities and lots of different, I like to call them tools that we can pull out, right? Like I know at one point in my life, therapy is something that I needed. Another point in my life, I was really rigid, not really rigid, but I found that I needed discipline and I needed to really come around a new way of eating in order to just navigate a certain goal of mine. Sometimes it's pulling cards, sometimes it's walking, sometimes it's calling a friend, sometimes it's journaling. There are lots of different ways and tools for us to navigate ourselves and others and the world around us. And if you are someone who is interested in building your capacity to read energy, to energy heal, and what I mean by that is that you are able to have this other layer, this parallel experience. And again, it's not just that I need to build my knowledge and understanding, but that there is some real beautiful work that can be done when you are across someone who can move energy out of your space. When it comes to getting a job or finding love, that is something that I've experienced. It's life changing, and I don't want to envision my life without the experience that I've had in this class. And so I'm here to share that I get to teach this class now. I'm really excited that the Psychic Self Healing Program, it used to be a year-long program. Now we've shortened it and chunked it. So the initial bit is 6 months. We do meet weekly. I know again that seems like impossible or hard to commit to, but it really ends up being so profound and necessary because we'll come and do a theme, look at a certain theme and read um and move energy, and then you go on with your day, and then you come back the next week, and then there's a new layer of something that we're looking at or moving. And so it creates this really beautiful accountability. It creates this pattern in your life, and to me, it helps integrate this type of work. That energy healing is something that you can integrate into your life daily. And it's taken me 5+ years to really own and find ways for that to be the case. So Psychic Self-Healing Program starts April 3rd. We meet 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Wednesday morning. This is Mountain Standard Time. I live in Colorado. And I'm really hoping to get some new folks in this new kind of revamped version. If you have questions, please email them or find me on social media. Those of you on TikTok, please feel free to DM me if you have any questions about this. But Psychic Self-Healing Program, I'm not accepting any folks to chat with, but you're certainly welcome to DM me or message. Psychic Self-Healing Program. If you are curious, if you have ever been interested in reading or giving more permission to what you already know is there, like you know things. You've had those moments where you can't explain why you know something, or you didn't, like maybe it's that you didn't get in your car or you didn't turn a corner, or you just knew that you're not going to schedule a trip or whatever, and then you realize and you see later like, oh yeah, because I needed to be able to go to XYZ. There's so many ways that the universe is conspiring already, and that you have already received information in this way, in this unseen way. And as you are seeing, there are more and more folks out here who are owning this piece of them, that capitalism, conditioning, maybe identities that you hold. I identify as a woman, and I know that I've been conditioned, and I'm learning historical reasons of why maybe I would be afraid to show up as a healer or to claim that I'm a healer. At one point, women were murdered for that. So I am curious and interested to continue to build space for folks for folks to build these tools. So some of them we teach you centering techniques, ways to ground and really clear out other energy, and then to protect yourself. So like what we talk about it as like we squeeze out the energy that's not ours or doesn't serve us anymore. And then we want to fill in with the energy that is ours. So we just trying to maintain a space of like, this is me, that's you, and we'll agree to stay in that. What happens is we go through life and we go into the grocery store and we come up against other people's energy, or even just by thinking about someone, other people's energy or your energy can go towards them. And so it's like getting a massage. It's like acupuncture. It's like chiropractic, where it is something that we need to keep maintaining. We don't get to these tools and do them once and then it's done. It's something that we have to integrate within our lives. So we do develop a process or share with you a process to keep your energy field and your body clear. Oops, sorry for the hit of the table there. You will learn how to set energetic boundaries for yourself, and again, to kind of keep others' energy out. You will start to be able to discern what's yours and what's not yours. When is it that if you're like crying or angry and it feels like really out of body, like too much, oftentimes when it's too much and you can't turn it off, it's also collective. It's also energy that's not yours, that's really in your space. So learning to discern and learning to always come back to self again, of what is it that I can do? What is it that I can move? What is it that I can change in order to interact with this person or this scenario differently? We move through different guided topics to use the skills that we teach you to kind of peel away layers within you and that keep you from feeling clear, whole, and ultimately, again, just understanding who you are and what's yours and what is it for you to be a part of or participate in. We literally train you how to read energy. We have a specific format that came out of Berkeley Psychic in California. A lot of those tools have now come to Boulder, Colorado, and Psychic Horizons. This is the kind of lineage of the information and of the psychic healers. and then we're kind of an orbit of, or a section of psychic horizons. So these are tools that have been used over time, that have intuitively been downloaded and have been packaged in this way of ways to own your space, ways to read energy. And we can literally read energy. And when we read energy, we say, like, when we say hello to energy, it really can create a change within the field of your awareness. That oftentimes stuff just wants to be seen, and then it will move away, will dissipate, will kind of neutralize it. And then the interaction that you have with a certain person, you might find that gets a little less triggering. Or when you hear someone say an opinion that doesn't align with you, instead of, I don't know what people do, like have a little hissy fit or get really triggered, maybe that calms down a little bit. So you'll develop skills that will help neutralize and navigate what's within you. And then also, again, that will only ripple out. When we think of metaphysics and being able to do our own work, what that means to influence others, it's really cool to see over time. I've experienced this as well, that the more work that I do in this space, I still get really triggered with my family. But there are moments where I'm seeing I don't go quite as quickly into kind of child Maren. I don't quite as quickly get so lit up by my family. It's more I can hold it and I can see them react and know that's them, and that this is me, and that we can be in this discomfort, or um, maybe even conflict, and I don't have to take on, and I don't have to go into old patterns where then, oop, I'm noticing there's discomfort, so let me come to you and make this better for you. Let's just hold this and notice. So if you're interested in holding better boundaries, of being able to have more autonomy of your emotions and of your understanding of yourself, these tools really can do that. And it's really fun to see how energy shows up. There are days when I'm reading somebody else and I can like smell something so profoundly. And it's like maybe I'm in the middle of watching this kind of past life, and it just starts to take over where I'm in this experience. And as I'm letting kind of the movie run in front of me, I can start to gain the metaphor or gain understanding of why I'm seeing that. Ooh, I'm noticing that there's a version of you here, a younger version of you, that's really afraid of XYZ. And so right now I'm seeing that we're clearing fear. We're clearing um, the kind of this power dynamic that exists. And it might not be the same kind of relationship or power dynamic that you're experiencing in this current body or world, but that might be affecting certain relationships that you have. So you'll understand and start to build ways to learn and listen what your patterns are and how energy shows up in you. So those gut feelings or those thoughts, is this just my mind saying things, or is this like really important information? To decipher when it's yours and when it's conditioning, when it's yours and when it's the greater collective saying, don't do that, you're not supposed to live like that. When there's ways for you to decipher and kind of break free of concepts of just how you're supposed to be in the world. So we dive into past lives, parallel timelines, deeper healing, and reading chakras, and understanding that when we learn through this framework, we do utilize that each chakra kind of has a theme. And so, I'm noticing in your heart chakra, which is affinity to self, affinity to others, that there's maybe something more here that you're clearing in terms of fear, or in terms of dynamics of how you show up in relationship. If you're someone who's interested in meeting specific guides healing guides or ways to interact with angels, interact with psychic healers. There's just such a plethora of fun that this brings too. I have been sharing a lot. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your interest. There's still time. We've got a few weeks if you are interested in chatting with me personally to get a little more one-on-one questions asked about what does this mean? What if I can't come to every class? Or what if I've never learned about reading energy? Or what if I'm a little, just apprehensive? That's okay. All of that is welcome. But we start April 3rd, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We meet weekly for 6 months on Wednesdays. And the first, within the 2 hours that we spend together, there's always a check-in. Usually then there's a meditation or a visualization that we go through. And then we go into trades. So you're with one or two other colleagues or participants, and you eventually will read each other. And that you'll see is very powerful. To read energy is another form of doing your own energy work. That to see it in another is a way for you to also move it out of your space or to heal it in your space. So we are still registering. We had early bird pricing. If you are here watching this video or on TikTok experiencing this, please DM me and I will happily get you the early bird pricing. Yeah. April 3rd, we start Psychic Self-Healing. What questions do you have? Is there any videos or things or more information that you'd like me to share? Please let me know. If you're interested and you're just like, I can't start April 3rd and the rest of the year is really silly, I do have an interest form for you to fill out so we can get you on a wait list and get you some further dates when we have new ones. But yeah, this is Marin. I use she, her pronouns, and I am an energy healer here to share with you about my Psychic Self-Healing program that's starting April 3rd. 2024. We meet 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Get it on your calendar, and look forward to seeing you and look forward to having you. Let me know if there's anything else that you want to know or get clarified, and let's do it. Let's schedule a call, or I can certainly chat in DMs or emails. So lots of different ways. But I certainly hope that you will join me.